Warning: the following may contain material that could cause hurt feelings or emotional stress. Please do not proceed if you get butt hurt easily or have a heart condition brought on by guitar snob syndrome. Viewer discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fulton Street Beats. If you caught the last video, you know that we, unboxed this Epiphone Les Paul Slash Edition. Now, it's an Appetite for Destruction guitar, and it's pretty cool. So we're going to start, of course it's covered right now, but let's start with what we get. We're going to dive deep into this guitar, and we're going to see just how this thing is set up from the factory, and did they cut any corners? Did they take the time to do it right, or was it just something ho-hum that they threw out there and threw Slash's name on it? Let's start with the gig bag. Excuse me. Let's start with the gig bag. It's a nice quality gig bag. It's better than most Chinese guitars that you'll get. It has a very nicely done Slash logo on it. It does say Epiphone. We do have a zipper, but it's pretty nice, and it's going to protect your guitar for sure. And it's just nice to have a gig bag. If you're transporting your guitar ever at all, it's nice to have these. I have a ton of these. Usually I just give them away when I get rid of guitars. This one we'll keep around because it's pretty cool. So let's start there. The second thing we get is the Epiphone amplifier, and that is a snake pit amp. Now, go back and watch. I'm not going to do a review on that today, but go back. If you watch the unboxing video, you'll see that amplifier up close. Really nice, heavy, stout, really good sounding amp. Not so much on the distortion side, although it will suffice. If you mic it up too and run it through your DAW, it will sound good, but the clean tones that come out of it were actually quite impressive. So I've played this guitar. I haven't cleaned it up any. I got fingerprints and everything else all over it right now, and we're going to go in, we're going to do some things to this guitar and check it out along the way, because I want to show you guys exactly what you're getting for the money when you purchase one of these things. So let's start there. First thing you're going to notice, we have this beautiful flamed finish. It does have some imperfections in the finish, I'm not going to lie, and I think I noted that on the unboxing. Very minute, nothing that you would ever or should complain about, especially in this price range. Now, I have a saying that I don't like to say good for the money. I don't like to say it's a good guitar for the money. I like to believe that guitars should be good. If they're putting a guitar out, it should be good for any money. If you're getting a $5,000 guitar, well, first of all, I think that's ridiculous. I don't care if you're even professionally gigging with it. It's just too much. It makes no sense, because guitars can only get so good. And at that level, you're just, it's a prestige thing. So that's my belief. You can disagree if you like. But any guitar should play good for any money. Now, what you will notice is when you get into budget guitars, typically there's some corners that are cut, but that doesn't mean that they're not good players, because a lot of times they still are good players. They just had to cut some corners or cut back on some labor, which is things that are labor intensive, to give you that guitar at that price, thinking that you're going to get the guitar and mod it yourself and finish up those fine details. And as I found with this Epiphone, it's no exception to the rule. Now, this guitar comes in a pack with the amplifier, the guitar, some Slash guitar picks, the gig bag, and the amp, like I said, the amp and a strap. The strap, I will tell you right now, it's cool that they give you a strap. It's the worst strap, not made-wise. I mean, it's still not the best, but it is the most uncomfortable strap you'll ever put around your neck. It literally cuts into your neck. Yes, you have that thing on longer than a minute, you'll quickly be taking it off, as I noted on my first play of this guitar. So strap, cool that it came with one. If you're learning guitar, ditch that thing, because you're not going to want to play the guitar if you're uncomfortable. So that's the first thing I want to say. The strap, cool that you got one. Just get a good strap that's comfortable around your neck. Number two, fret ends. Now, I go down through here, and I wish I could say that it's Sprout, but it's not Sprout. They just simply were not finely detailed on their ends. They just didn't do it. There's some sharp edges, as noted by my hands when I was playing this. And ironically, it's smoother on the bass side than it is on the treble side. So, yeah, I'm going to need to do some fret work to this thing. Not a lot. I mean, it's not bad. It's just the few that are bad, right there. The few that are bad are pretty bad. So a quick file is going to take care of that. Is that a deal breaker? Hell no. Because like I said, this complete package costs $350 shipped to your door with an amp. And it is an outstanding looking guitar. And it does, and it's got a nice thick finish on it. It looks to be nitro. I could be wrong, but this looks like a typical Gibson nitro finish. And honestly, the finish on this guitar is better than a lot of Gibsons I've seen. So keep that in mind. Pickups. Outstanding sounding pickups. Would I upgrade these pickups? No way. They sound just like I would expect a Les Paul to sound. That's right. They sound fantastic. And a lot of you know that are Epiphone fans. We buy Epiphones because, well, a lot of them play and sound better than some of the Gibsons. And I know haters going to hate on that. But it's true. At least in my opinion. And, I've been wrong before, but that's my opinion. Anyhow, Fretboard is an odd looking specimen for sure. I don't know what they're calling this. It's different. It looks fantastic. The black binding of the fretboard edge, I should say, comes around up into the fretboard, giving it a kind of unique character. And I actually, while we get in here, we're probably going to oil this fretboard up a little bit and see if we can give it a little bit of luster, because it is dull. Now, if you look at the box, it appears to be a black fretboard, almost ebony, but it's definitely not. It's more of a rosewood look, although I don't believe it's real rosewood, but it could be. But it looks good. It looks good. It's nicely appointed. The dots are done nicely, but not overdone. But they look good. I wish it would have had a block inlay, but it doesn't. I'm digressing. Nut is cut extremely well. The setup of the guitar is done extremely well. As a matter of fact, I'm going to guess, and I was going to guess on I don't like to guess, really. But I haven't gauged this yet, so I'm going to do this for the first time with you. But I'm going to guess the typical, I'm going to guess this typical 1.75 millimeters at the 12th fret. I'm going to guess that it's spot on all the way across the fret, so on each string. That's what I'm going to guess, so we'll see if I'm correct. I have not checked this yet. They're going to be the first time we're going to see this, so let's check and see. 1.75 on the nose, 1.75 on the nose, 1.75, 1.75, 1.75, and 1.7, all 1.75, right? That's usually where I set my guitars up, unless it's a 24 fret guitar, then I go a little lower typically, but just a smidge, technical term. So very cool there. So it's got a good setup. We have not checked the neck. I'm going to check for the neck straightness right now. Let me get this on here. I want to see if there's any back bow to this neck, ever so slightly or not. So we have that action set. So we're telling me that these frets are done extremely well and extremely leveled, because there's no buzz anywhere, and this neck is perfectly straight with no back bow in it at all right now, which tells me it has an amazing fret job. Now, keep in mind, you take tension off these strings, you might have a little back bow. It depends. So if they set this up right, they adjusted it. They should have adjusted it anyhow with the strings on after they did their first final, but who knows, maybe we got a good stiff truss rod in there and everything's holding place. The longer we go in a scale of a neck, sometimes we get a little wonky depending on string tension and tuning, so keep that in mind. Headstock on this guitar is absolutely gorgeous. I haven't cleaned it up. There's no scrapes or scuffs on it. If you see anything, it looks like it, and the plastic is still on the truss rod cover. Les Paul Special 2. The slash logo is outstanding. I mean, that's it doesn't look wonky. It doesn't look kind of gritty or grainy, nothing like that. It looks great. Tuners, well, people would say these are your typical Epiphone cheapy tuners. I say they're tuners that hold tune. Would I change these? There's no reason for me to change them. Let me make something clear. Usually if I change tuners, it's because they're absolute garbage and they will not hold, which is very rare. Most of the time it is a mindset or a fabrication of the mind that they're not holding tune, and therefore you have to change your tuners, and you think so because it's a new guitar and everybody says change your tuners. Most of the time that is not the case. Upgrading tuners is fine, especially when you're going to locking tuners, and I don't do locking tuners for tuning stability. I do them because of ease of string change. That's the only reason that I do locking tuners. Unless I'm doing a floating bridge on the bottom, but it'd have to be just a 2-point non-locking bridge, and then I will do locking tuners with it for tuning stability, because it does help in that case. But other than that, this guitar has held tune. I've played it for a long time, fingers shredded to prove it, and yeah, it stays in tune. So no gripes on the tuners. So I want to cover everything with this guitar. The bridge is set up properly. There's no buzzing. There's nothing. Pickup height is pretty much spot on where I would set it. We're gonna do this in millimeters, guys, and I'm gonna gauge pickup height to the string from the pole. We're at about 3.0 millimeters on the bridge side, and let's see if I can get this in here. And we would be 3.5 on the neck side. So right in that range where it should be. I don't think any adjustments necessary. I think it works fine. Tailpiece is fine. There's not too much of a downward angle going to the tailpiece, so everything seems to be adjusted fine. One quirk about these guitars, not really a quirk, but you'll notice about this is that threw me off right away visually is having the toggle switch, which is a very stable toggle switch, by the way. You'll notice that. Very, very stout, stable toggle switch. One thing about this is it's not up here. And I actually was a little put off by that because, you know, we like our toggle switches in this position here. But what I like about the toggle switch is I can reach down and work the toggle switch quicker than I can pulling up. Just a preference of mine. Never knew I had that preference till I played this guitar. But yeah, it works out in that position. And of course, we only have the one volume and one tone, which work beautifully. There's no grittiness. They fade in and out nicely. What does it have in it for pots? I don't know. I haven't looked yet. Not that I really don't care because the ears can't tell. So why am I, you know, if we see it, we get in there and we look, then we'll know. But your ears aren't going to tell the difference. If it sounds good, it sounds good. So I've never could hand anybody a guitar and say, tell me what pots are in it, because I don't think anybody can tell you what pots are in a guitar simply by listening to it. I think that it's all psychosomatic, as are with most things with guitars. We regurgitate what we're told or what we're taught to believe. A lot of times that's just not true. So let's turn this guitar over and check out the back. Beautiful on the back, right? Beautiful neck. And there's no outstanding looking knots in the neck, nothing like that. The neck joint fits perfectly. Of course, it does have the plate. This is the turnoff to a lot of people right here, is this neck plate, that it's not a set neck. And I got to tell you, I love the looks of a set neck, but after playing this guitar, it quickly deteriorated and went away because, well, you know, I think it's a great sounding guitar, great looking guitar, and when I'm playing it, I don't see the back. Or do people, when you're playing it, see the back when you're on stage or what have you? So, not a real big deal to me. The finish is beautiful in the back. It is a good looking Les Paul guitar for sure. The binding's done extremely well. Maybe a little bleed here and there if you're getting really up close and nitpicking, but nothing that you could ever really have the right to complain about, especially, like I said, at this price range, because you know, this is an exceptional guitar that is inexpensive, that does need a little bit of work. So if you're new to guitaring or you're coming in and you want a guitar to learn on, pretty good guitar to learn on. You're getting everything you need, but a couple sharp fret edges could take the comfort away from you rather quickly, as with that strap. So I'm just telling you what you may need to do to this. Other than that, the tone, the action, everything is spot on and sounds good. Now, this has a built-in tuner. I haven't used it yet because, believe it or not, one corner they did cut to keep the prices down on these guitars. And it does have the tuners in the pickup ring. is they put a built-in tuner in it, which is pretty cool. I think that's a pretty cool marketing tool, and I think it helps people tune their guitar quickly. I'm always using chromatic tuners, always in between recording. I'll throw on a chromatic tuner. This one has one built in it, so that's really cool. But they don't give you a battery. That's right, all the cheap batteries, and boy, I get batteries when I buy chromatic tuners, cheap tuners, but they do not give you a battery, and it says it right on the box. And if you're wondering what battery it takes, and we got one right here, it is a CR2032 3-volt. So we're going to pop that in right now, while we're right here, and hopefully I put it in correctly. There we are. And can I see pots? It's not shielded or anything, and I don't see any shielding in here, and I can't really see the pots, but we may get in there in a second here. But let's pull this on. I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to see. Oh yeah, okay. So there we go. There's our tuner, and we're lit up right there. You see that? Okay, that's telling me we're a little out there. Very cool. Very cool. Very nice. So yeah, we have a little button right here. We push it, and it shuts it off. So once again, I'll show you it. Here's on. There we are. You see that? And here is off. Boom. So that works. That is good to know. I like that. I like that it has that. Very cool. Now, do you guys want to dive in? If you're curious about what pots it has, because I said this is going to be a dive in. Let's check it out. Let's turn it over, and let's check it out. Now, let me grab my tools over here. These are the ones that I normally use. I like to keep little baskets of certain tools that on hand, so I'm not always reaching in the tool drawer. We'll turn this out. I'm not using the screw gun on this because I just don't want to slip and scratch this beautiful finish, and it's already all fingerprints. And we're going to clean this thing up like I always do with guitars and give it a nice protective coating of graphene. And we're not going to do that now, but I will end up doing it. Let's see if we can get this thing off here. There we are. Okay, so guess what, guys? $350, and for those who want to know, there's the wiring. And yeah, we got full-size pots in it. Full-size pots. Not that it makes, like I said, not that it makes a difference. We do have compound, a little bit of compound in there, like we always do with every guitar I think I've ever seen. But good-sized pots, are they labeled? Let's see if I can see any labeling on these pots at all. I see no labeling on the pots, at least on the back side, so I don't know what K they are. But they sound good, and they do the job. So there we go. We know we got full-size pots, although, like I said, that is the grand illusion, right? The pot, the size of that pot doesn't make a difference in sound. Proof, the Leo James Tempest over here. Small pots, best-sounding guitar that I have. An active pickup guitar on top of that at $200, and is, in my opinion, the best budget guitar that I have ever reviewed thus far. Now, can I guarantee that the quality control is the same across the board with the Leo James? No, I cannot, but I can't verify that with any brand because all brands have quality control issues, including Epiphone. As a matter of fact, I had a Flying V with all kinds of quality control issues from Epiphone, and we won't even get started on that one. Anyhow, so I'm going to detune this, and I'm going to clean up this fretboard a little bit here. I'm going to pull the strings over to the side. Bit of lemon oil on the fretboard, and yes, I know you guys know I don't usually use lemon oil. I'm going to use it on this initially, and I want to see how it reacts. But then I always finish them off with coconut oil because it just lasts so much longer. It cleans and protects, and wood really, really likes organic coconut oil. So keep that in mind. It really enjoys it. And I use it liberally. We'll see what we got here. Now we can get in and we can actually see the fretboard, and it's just so dry. So listen to this. So dry. So we'll do that. I'm not knocking Epiphone for the fretboard being dry. This, you see, this is soaking deep in, like, immediately. So we probably will go right to the coconut oil because that's going to soak in and actually last. Or this lemon oil usually doesn't last. But one thing about lemon oil that it does do on the frets, it tends to clean the frets up pretty good. Make them shine. So does the coconut oil, but gotta make sure you gotta get all the coconut oil off because you don't want a greasy fretboard surface. But once that soaks in, it's not greasy. Nice and smooth. Yeah, it's soaking in. And one thing about that's what the lemon oil will do. Soaks in, but if you don't keep reapplying, it gives you a very uneven finish. So, especially on a really dry fretboard. So I'm going to rub that. And you can see immediately it just taken off whatever little grime was on those frets. But it looks so much better. Now it's starting to give you the green. Yeah, let's top this off with coconut oil. Let's do that. And really give it that wow factor. But boy, what a huge difference already. Let you see that. Just that really made it so much better. I'm an aesthetic guy. I love aesthetics. I think the aesthetics of a guitar is very important. And I think we'll do a Mr. Rogers neighborhood thing here. It is my belief, boys and girls, that a clean guitar is a happy guitar. Oh yeah, see now that is so much, you can feel it sink in immediately. That's why I'm a coconut oil fan. Yes, guys, you can use coconut oil. A lot of people don't realize that. It has to be organic. I'm going to tell you how I know this is, it was a custom drum builder. I still kind of am on the side, but built custom drums for years. And you learn a lot about woodworking. And my dad actually taught me this trick when he was building furniture and conditioning the wood back in the day with coconut oil. And as a matter of fact, we use this on a lot of furniture around the house. But it has to be real coconut oil, not organic, with nothing added. And why is that? Because once they add chemicals to your coconut oil has a tendency of becoming rancid. Look at this. Becoming rancid. Let this sit for a second. Has a tendency of becoming rancid and smelling later on. So remember, boys and girls, organic coconut oil only. I use Nature's Promise. As you can see, I've used a ton of this stuff on various guitars. Use it all the time, and it's good for touch-ups later on, but you'll find that this lasts longer than lemon oil. I'm not knocking the lemon oil, but it's not the best. Coconut oil does exceed it, but I got it, so I use it. Sometimes I use it in conjunction with each other, like we just did here. So now we're going to give this a wipe, paying close attention to get it out. No, this will not loosen up glue on frets, anything like that. It will not lift frets. It will not change. The pH is perfect for wood. I hope you can see this. What we are left with is a beautifully smooth and amazing fretboard, and it's such a big difference. And I love showing people this and seeing their reaction after they use it and take their time and use it and come back and go, you know what, I'm never going back to lemon oil. No, you don't have to. Now, it does clean also, just so you know. This will clean. Depending on your fretboard, what you have. Now, say you have a maple fretboard. You can use your lemon oil on your maple fretboard. And lemon oil on a maple fretboard will lift dirt out of the fretboard. Now, I'm talking an unfinished fretboard. But a lot of times, we have a finish on our maple fretboards. and it gets worn through years of playing, and then you get the dirt and the grime where it's wore through. Case in point, I have a guitar over here that an IX by Behringer that I just restored for a customer, and I'm telling you what, using the lemon oil lifted a lot of grime out of the war parts of the maple fretboard. And it just, it looked, I didn't think I could bring it back. And he doesn't want the fretboard refinished. It wouldn't be cost effective. But I brought it back, and then I used coconut oil over top of that, and it lifted it even more. And it's just a beautiful, nice looking fretboard now. I'll try to put a picture in of that, if I remember. And just get up close next to your frets. Make sure you get all the oil off. Turn your rag. What do you think? Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, is that a huge difference, or is that a huge difference? Now that's a beautiful looking fretboard, and yes, I like the beauty of fretboards. So I'm gonna come up in here, and anything I got up here will take off. I'm gonna clean all this entire guitar up later on, and put graphene on it. I might even start that here in a second. And if you don't know if I'm missing anything, or there's things you guys want to see, I mean, I'm not pulling the pickups out because we know what the pickups are. At least if you don't know what they are, you can look those up easily. Just the Epiphone ceramic humbuckers. They sound great. And it's funny because, you know, a lot of people love these pickups, and does it have microphonic feedback? Well, yeah, you can talk into them and you'll hear yourself through the amp. As most pickups do, because, you know, microphonics is a pickup's job to a point. We just don't, all pickups should be microphonic. They just shouldn't have excessive microphonics, because if it wasn't microphonic, you wouldn't pick up the string resonating over it. And extremely microphonic is bad. Moderation is good. Oh, strings, by the way, to come on this, these feel like a 9 to 42 to me. Very light, which is good. That's my gauge that I play. Now, that's one thing when you buy guitars, guys. Don't go by what the manufacturer says that it has on it for strings, because they always seem to be wrong, or they always get something wrong. There's always something going on where they either change the gauge. Harley Benton's famous for that. Changing gauges on you, saying they're one thing, but they're something else. Kramer Barretta Specials, same way. I was just having a conversation with the Bald Shredder. And if you haven't checked out his channel yet, Richard James, the Bald Shredder, check him out. Awesome guitar reviews, awesome shred guitar player, and just a good dude in general. And I really enjoy watching his channel, and I really enjoy his insight into things. One of those channels you just once you turn it on, you don't want to go away. Anyhow, we were talking about that. He ordered a Kramer. Ooh, cat almost out of the bag. Never mind. Anyhow, we were talking about the Kramer Barretta Specials, and how some come with 9 to 42, and some come with 10 to 46. So keep that in mind. You just never know what you're going to get. Anyhow, here is in a nutshell. You get a lot for the money, in case you guys are wondering. Here's the 3 picks you get: a purple one, a black one, and a white one. They look good. We won't use them. They're just kind of in the background. But what an outstanding guitar. And you guys, if you haven't heard this play yet, I'm going to post a video here when I get around of it doing clean tones. It's already, the track I did is already in the unboxing video at the end. But I'm going to put that track up separately so you guys can hear this. Oh, that's so much. Frets are cleaner because they're not gritty. And I'll do some heavy tones with it here shortly. I just have to, we're going to clean it up. And I'm just enjoying it a little bit. I gotta have to work on these frets. I'm not going to do that right now. I do have my fret files over here. But I'm going to, later on after I'm not on camera, I'll do the frets. We'll come back, give it another play, and see if I like it even more. But what a fantastic looking guitar, guys. Just amazing looking guitar. And it's really a good player. It's a good, solid foundation for anybody. I'm proud to have it on the wall. And I'm probably going to keep it because, well, it's inexpensive and it's really cool. And sometimes you get the inexpensive cool ones. And you have to keep them. And I'll tell you what, just so you guys haven't checked it out, go back a couple videos. And if you want to see my most incredible guitar, that's this one right here. This is the Leo James Tempest 2-point Wilkinson bridge with a heavy block, outstanding finish, active Leo James pickups that sound freaking incredible, an amazing fret job, amazing fretboard. It is a rosewood, dark rosewood fretboard. The nut is cut beautifully. It holds tune well. It sounds outstanding. It is all mahogany guitar with a maple neck, rosewood fretboard. The frets are just exquisite. And what a gorgeous, gorgeous finish. Does this have the Epiphone beat? 100%. It's not even a comparison, to tell you the truth. This guitar is flawless and beautiful. So, but two different style guitars. Shred guitar, which still does everything well, and these active pickups are just like the cream de la creme. Mwah. But yeah, it's my new favorite guitar. And the best thing about this guitar, $200. Amazon. On Amazon, they call it the Leo James Storm, unless they have changed the name. Oh, and by the way, the Wilkinson M Series 2-point bridge with a pop-in trem bar. Yeah, you're getting it all. And by the way, Little Pots, still my best guitar. Best playing, best sounding, best all-around guitar. I love them all. It is my favorite. And now I love this one too. Thanks for watching Fulton Street Beats. And if you could, please hit that like button, share, subscribe. And as always, remember, it is rock and roll that makes the world twirl around.